Hi, welcome or welcome back to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Maria Andrea, and I have a special summer kind of video. I want to share my 2025 summer playlist. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been curating my summer playlist. And one thing I love about summer is how you come into a time period where you're maybe discovering new music, um, and making a playlist that is fun, that is the kind of playlist that you want to listen to driving to the beach or having a summer cookout or um, just getting into the bright summer mood. And so I've been listening to Spotify, listening to podcasts, and curating a list of some of my favorite new releases of the year for like that feel like summer vibe to me. So I'm going to see how this works. I will do my best to be able to plug in a little bit of the music and tell you more about it. So the first song on my playlist is Parison. This first song is Parison by Panteon, Rococo, Carin León, Sabino, um, Remmy, Valenzuela, LNGSHT, and I'll read the lyrics. The lyrics say, andamos de parranda, de aquí hasta que el sol salga, andamos de parranda. We're partying from here until the sun comes out. So like all night long. And that we're partying. Esta noche hay fiesta y nadie para de bailar. There's a party tonight and um, no one's going to stop dancing. Las luces y el sonido del vecino están a todo lo que da. The lights and the sounds are at its the max. Las chicas están listas, los vatos están ready. Ven, tócame un rocksteady para empezar a calentar, nada más. Ey, yo, mira quién llegó, estableciendo el ritmo y con tremendo flow. Pura curadura que se cura con locura y le pese a quien le pese, así vivo yo. So it's just going on and on about getting ready. Everybody's in the party mood. Everybody's ready to party. I love the beat. I love the music. I love the sound. It feels like a jam. And the book that I would pair with this song reminds me of one of my favorite books of all time. Can you guess which one? A book about partying all night long is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I love The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby is also celebrating its 100th anniversary this year, and I thought it would be fitting to pair it with the song. The song, when I listen to it, makes me imagine the Latinx version of The Great Gatsby. So if The Great Gatsby could be reimagined and like it reflect modern day Latinx community, I could definitely see the storyline. The Great Gatsby is one of the greatest American novels because it reflects on the American dream. And I think the American dream is something that is so central to immigration and migration. And I think that if we reimagined The Great Gatsby and made like wrote a modern day retelling of The Great Gatsby that is central to the Latinx experience in the United States, this song would have to be in its soundtrack. It would have to be it just feels like the epic party is about to happen, and that is The Great Gatsby. Next, Yo me consiento by Maye. I'll read a little bit of the lyrics here as well. Colgaste mi corazón en tu llavero, me quise desganchar, pero no puedo. You hung my heart on your keychain. I wanted to release myself, but I couldn't. Ya quiero tener el control de saciar mi propia sed. I want to be able to control my own thirst. Usar mi imaginación no cuesta nada. To use my imagination costs nothing. Sea por la noche o sea por la mañana, whether night or day or in daytime, puedo soñar con los ojos abiertos. I can dream with my eyes wide open. Sin tener que envolver mis sentimientos, without having to involve my feelings. Yo no necesito a nadie más. I don't need anybody. Porque yo me consiento, because I care for myself. Yo me consiento. I care for myself. And this is about a woman finding ways to treat herself, to please herself, to practice self-care, to not depend on anybody else for that. And I think it's a beautiful song. It's melodic. And, it's about loving yourself. And there are two songs that come to mind when I listen to this song, and they are To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. I love that series. But To All the Boys I've Loved Before is about a young woman coming of age and finding that her relationship with herself and her truth is the most important thing. And as she's making peace with letting go of the past, of relationships that didn't work out, and just coming into her own. And there's a lot of power in that when young women realize that. And then there's also Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. The melodic, the way the song, the beats, how soft and like slow, and this kind of slow burn way to draw out like the musical elements to it feels very much in tune with the soundtrack to Heartstopper, the television series. And I love it. Like, I think that this would fit, this song would be a good fit in with those songs on that soundtrack, and those storylines of practicing self-care and loving yourself before you can love someone else. So those are two books that I relate to this song. The next song on my summer playlist is Yo por ti by Grecia Alban. So I don't have lyrics for this one, but a little bit about Grecia Alban. Grecia Alban is a singer-songwriter. She was born in Ecuador, in the Andes of Ecuador, and she's come to create a unique sound. She researches music and really goes deep into her roots of Ecuador, and she also incorporates natural beats and sounds of nature in her melodies. There's a sweetness, and she encompasses her personal history, her geographies, her geographical family history, her childhood, the ups and downs of growing up and coming of age, the rhythms and rituals of her culture and that are meaningful to her. And she really creates her music and melodies from her soul and her heart. And I feel that way when I listen to her music. And so so there's this deep yearning in her voice and in her music. And it's two books that I've thought of. They're both related. The first one is Persuasion by Jane Austen. Persuasion is a slow burn kind of a book. It's deep and it's emotional, and I love it. So far, it's been my favorite Jane Austen. And then there's Slow Dance by Rainbow Rowell. And Slow Dance by Rainbow Rowell is a young adult coming of age novel, and it is a retelling of Persuasion. So if you're looking for a retelling for August, a Three of Hearts, which is a retelling and a romance or contemporary fiction, with like a love story, this book, Slow Dance by Rainbow Rowell, would be a great pick. So, Grecia Alban's Yo por ti. Yo por ti means me for you. So there's like it's a love song. It's a song about love and um, my whole me for you. I just really feel like that aligns with the way I read and interpret Persuasion. And I haven't read Rainbow Rowell's Slow Dance, but it's a retelling of Persuasion. So I think it would be also kind of like a song book match. The next. Oh, I'm so excited about the next one. The next song on my playlist is one that I just love so much. This is Bad Bunny. This is Bad Bunny NuevaYol from Bad Bunny's newest album. I love this video. This is definitely a summer jam, and please go out and check. I will put all of these songs in the description box so you can see. I'll see if I can link my Spotify playlist, but please check out these songs and give these artists some love. So the books that I would pair with NuevaYol by Bad Bunny are When We Make It by Elisabet Velasquez. And I haven't read that one, but I found it on a list of books that pair well with Bad Bunny's music. So that's probably one of the next books that I'm going to either read on my own or might be a book that I add to the Books and Bocadillos book club for next year. And it's a Puerto Rican author, Bad Bunny. It's a Puerto Rican artist, and I'm so excited. I just love learning about other communities within the Latinx cultural um, community. We're such a diverse group of people, like Latin Americans and Latinx community in the United States. We're super diverse, and our stories are all connected, but it's always good to learn from the journeys and the life experiences and the histories of each of our communities. So I'm really excited to learn more about Puerto Rico and the Puerto Rican experience in the United States. But When We Make It by Elisabet Velasquez is one book. And then Olga Dice Streaming. This was the book that we read for the Books and Bocadillos book club earlier this year. We read it in February. I really liked it. I really liked Xochitl Gonzalez. I want to read more by Xochitl Gonzalez. I think she's a really good writer. So I recommend Olga Dice Streaming by Xochitl Gonzalez. And it pairs well with NuevaYol because Olga Dice Streaming takes place in New York. Next, the song is Lila Aleli by Silvana Estrada. Si acaso fuera distinta la luna del pensamiento por descifrar lo que siento callado. Si acaso. Okay, so the lyrics here. Si acaso fuera distinta la luna del pensamiento, if the moon was different from thoughts or thinking, por descifrar lo que siento callada junto a tu almohada, to decipher what I feel in silence next to your pillow. Si acaso te imaginaras todo el dolor que ha causado, if you could only imagine all the hurt that has caused, este anhelo desbordado por conocer la ternura, this deep yearning, this immense yearning to get to know the tenderness de tu boca, la figura of your mouth. Baila un suspiro en mi pecho, my chest feels a dancing sigh, or a sigh dances in my chest. Te llevo como un secreto que anida su alma en la mía. I keep you with me like a secret, next to my soul, guardando la lejana y la estela tibia de un beso. La lejanía, guardando la lejanía y la estela tibia de un beso. Cherishing the distance and the warmth of a kiss, pues escondo el sentimiento y lo que no puedo decir, and I hide the feeling and what I cannot say. No me salva de sentir un calor que me estremece. And this warmth that sends chills through me doesn't save me. Que con tu acento florece, with your accent flowers, la flor que nunca te di, the flower I never gave you. Ay, llévatelo todo. Take me completely. Que todo te pertenece. Everything belongs to you. Take me completely. Yep, take everything completely. Que sin ti aquí nada crece. That without you nothing blooms. And it goes on, and this is like there's a lot of like a longing, saudade, like missing someone. And so for this one, I matched it with The Distant Marvels by Chantal Acevedo. There's this sense of like nearness and yet separation, and having and belonging, and knowing yet longing and yearning. Like deep yearning is so central to the stories that Maria Sirena tells. Maria Sirena is a storyteller. She's the main character in this novel, The Distant Marvels, and she tells her story with this passion and yearning, and it as she's reliving her childhood, her life history, her immense love, long lost love. And so I feel like this song by Lila Aleli, it's sweet, it's tender, it's deep, and there's a yearning, there's a deep yearning, and I feel like that matches the tone and the energy, the melodic, the softness that matches Chantal Acevedo's writing, and the story is The Distant Marvels. It's a novel set in Cuba, and we learn about the history of Cuba through the Revolucion, and their independence from Spain. So a revolution happening in the soul of this artist, singing about yearning and love and loss. Okay, next I have Sola by Paloma Morphy.
Como la pasa, siempre me quiero quedar. Si me sueltas al control, por miedo que me da.
Sola means alone. And, okay, these are the lyrics to Sola by Paloma Morphy. ¿Cómo le hago para saber si neta me quiero quedar o si me estoy dejando controlar por el miedo que me da estar sola? How do I know really if I want to stay or if I'm allowing myself to be controlled by this fear that I feel to be alone? Si ni me has pedido perdón y ya te quiero perdonar, you haven't even asked me for forgiveness and I already want to forgive you. Todavía ni decimos adiós y yo no paro de llorar. We haven't even said goodbye and I can't stop crying. 8 cigarros en la mesa, pásenme otra cerveza. ¿Qué voy a hacer si te vas? 8 cigarettes on the table, pass me another beer. What am I going to do without you? Si te vas y no regresas, se me cae la cabeza. If you go and don't return, I'm gonna lose my head. ¿Con qué voy a llenar tu lugar? Porque no me sale estar sola. How am I gonna fill your void? Because I just don't know how to be alone. Y me la paso buscando amor en otra persona, and I'm looking for love in someone else que no está lista para dármelo. That's not ready to give me that love. ¿Cómo le hago para saber, neta, me quiero quedar o si me estoy dejando controlar por el miedo que me da estar sola? And it goes back and saying, how do I know if I even want to stay or if I'm just allowing myself to be controlled by the fear of being alone? So this internal battle of loneliness and being alone and losing that person that maybe you love, but maybe you've just grown comfortable with. They're just the person you've always been with. And this artist is talking about that. How do I know if I want to stay or I'm just being controlled by the fear of being alone? And the book that really feels connected to this dilemma is Prime Meridian by Silvia Moreno-García. I've talked about this book. I love this book, and I'm probably going to talk about it again soon in another video that I have planned. And I've done a book review about this book. I really, really recommend this book. I love this book. It's dark, it has a dark protagonist, and this song I would add to that soundtrack. I feel like I need to add it to her soundtrack. I made a soundtrack for this character, Amelia from Prime Meridian, last year or 2 years ago, maybe. Can't remember. But I made this soundtrack for Amelia from Prime Meridian, and I feel like the song fits her, and I think she would be a fan of Paloma Murphy. Okay, next. No Juego by Adrián Quesada with Angélica García. The lyrics. No vine para pedir permiso ni para confirmar dudas. I didn't come to ask permission or confirm doubts. La lengua corta como espada dejándote algo crudo. The tongue cuts like a sword, leaving something raw. ¿Qué rebeldía es traicionar? Cobardía evitar. What rebellion is betrayal? Cowardice, avoid, to avoid. Pero ya no más escucha mi voz. But no longer hear my voice. Sin más ganas de querer, lo que es falso va a caer. Without any desire to love, what is fake will fall. Si te hace reaccionar, así sucederá. If this makes you react, it'll happen. No cuestiones nunca mi intención porque no es invento. Don't question my intention because this is not an invention. Si buscas mi perdón, no hay más que hacer. If you are looking for my pardon, there's no more to do. the truth comes out on its own. The heart. No viniste para ayudar. You didn't come to help. Ni para hablar de frente, nor to speak truth. Tus palabras mentirosas son ruidos en mi mente. Your lying words are noise in my mind, my head, my brain. No mereces nada más. You don't deserve anything else. Ni una mirada atrás, not even a look back. Te digo ya no más. I tell you no more. Escucha mi voz, hear my voice. Sin más ganas de querer, without any more desire to love. Lo que es falso va a caer. What is fake will fall. And it goes on. So for this one, I put one, but I might have two. One might be The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, calling out the fake, the phony. The other one is a book I have to give me a second to pull it from my shelf. The other book that I thought matched really well with this song is Truth, Lies, and the Questions in Between by L.M. Eliot. I discovered this book through the Hey YA podcast from Book Riot. There was an author interview with L.M. Eliot, and I really enjoyed it. This book is set in the 1970s. It is kind of like a historical fiction. It's based on real historical events. It's about what happened with Richard Nixon, and a little bit about, well, I'll just read the plot. A president under investigation, protests across the country, women fighting for their rights. Welcome to 1973. Patty Appleton is making history as one of the Senate's first female congressional pages. She's a trailblazer with a front row seat to debates dividing the nation, especially around women's rights and roles. Pulled between old ways and new hopes, Patty finds herself torn between the expectation that she'll be an obedient daughter, aspiring to become a perfect wife, and the questions that new friends like the fiercely feminist Simone encouraged her to ask. But the questions don't stop at women's equality. The Watergate scandal is intensifying as evidence mounts that the White House engaged in crimes, smears, and cover-ups to manipulate an election. Patty worries her dad, a fundraiser for President Nixon, could somehow be involved. Determining truth from lies becomes ever more essential for the nation's future and for Patty's as well. Illustrated throughout with remarkable real-life images and headlines, this timely exploration of 1973, the year of Watergate hearings, the struggle over the Equal Rights Amendment, and Roe versus Wade, unfolds through the story of a young woman driven to question everything as she learns to think for and rely on herself. And this is a YA. This would be a king. I would say this would be a king maybe of spades or maybe of hearts. But it's about truth and deception and investigating. Like, the truth is going to come out, and it does come out. We know what happened to Watergate. It did come out. But what that line says in that the truth always surfaces. The truth will come out. This is a book that really resonates with that line in that song for me. This is a book that I would recommend for August. So check it out, Truth, Lies, and the Questions in Between by L.M. Eliot. This is a YA novel. And it's really amazing. I had to buy it because it has actual newspaper clippings from Watergate. Has a lot of photographs and real historical images from the time. So it's a really great book to have. It's a hardcover. I am really happy with this one. It's a new addition to my library. I've been meaning to do a book haul, but that one's going to be in the book haul. Okay, next song on my playlist is, oh, sorry, I also had for this one, I also wanted to say another book that would go well with this song would be The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. and What I Saw and How I Lied by Judy Blundell. I read What I Saw and How I Lied. It's also YA. So these are all YA picks that I hope that you might consider for August. So The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, which I'm hoping to read soon. And What I Saw and How I Lied by Judy Blundell. I read this book years ago. I'm having a hard time remembering the plot, but it was also about uncovering lies and the truth coming out. So I thought that storyline also fits that line of like deception and truth and exposing the truth. Next song is Johnny Glamour by Rusowski and La SketchUp. These are the lyrics for Johnny Glamour by Rusowski and La SketchUp. Yo por ti me moría, pasa el tiempo de ti, el lamento de ti, mi gloria, solo dime qué. I would die for you, time passes, and I lament you, of you my glory. Y baila, yo no quiero que te presentes, sé que yo no te conozco de nada, pero vaya miradita que tienes. And dance, I don't want you to, I don't want you to be present, or I don't want you to be present. I don't know you, but that look, that gaze that you have. Solo dime que no quieres volver. Just tell me that you don't want to return. Solo dime que no quieres volver. Just tell me that you don't want to return. And it goes on. And it's this kind of like, will they, won't they get together? I like you, but I don't want to see you, but I like you, but that gaze. But it's just this constant like back and forth of yes, no, will they, won't they. So for this one, I chose another YA book because you guessed it, we're talking about summer, and I'm reading a lot of young adult, and I'm thinking a lot about young adult and August. And so the book that I want to pair with this one is Anna K by Jenny Lee. I read Anna K earlier this year for the Ben Reads Good Challenge, and I think in January it was read a book with Anna, like a character or Anna in the title, and I read Anna K by Jenny Lee. And it's a retelling. So again, this is another for the poker hand. This would be a 3, and this would be a 3 of hearts. It's a retelling of Anna Karenina. And I really liked it. I love Anna Karenina, so I'm a fan of Anna Karenina. I love it. I think that Anna K was a pretty good retelling. It's a young adult fiction, coming of age. There's a sequel that I want to read. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's Anna K Away or Anna Away. Next is Tropicoqueta by Karol G. This is a dance song. This is the kind of song that you play at a get together and everybody has to get up and dance because it calls everybody to the dance floor. This song reminds me of Selena's Baila Esta Cumbia, where you're called out to the dance floor to this song. And this is a song that would be played at a quinceañera, and it would be that song that you just like drag your friends out to dance with you at this quinceañera. And the book that I chose to pair with this one is Once Upon a Quinceañera by Julia Alvarez. I haven't read Once Upon a Quinceañera by Julia Alvarez, but I really would like to. And this would be a good August pick. It's a coming of age story. It's more of a nonfiction. I think it's part memoir. So Julia Alvarez talked about quinceañeras and coming of age and being a quinceañera, and I think it draws on personal narratives. So that would be a good one. It could be a queen. I definitely say it could be a queen of hearts for a poker hand. It might talk about like social class and things like that. So it could also be a king of hearts. So yeah, Once Upon a Quinceañera and Tropico Queta by Karol G are a good pairing. Next, I have Vanity by Isabella Love Story. So the lyrics in this one are: tú me dices corazón, pero que you gave me your heart, but I give it back to you. Tú me dices un espejo y ese sí, you gave me your mirror, and that one I did keep. Soy mi propia ilusión, soy una lluvia llena de adicción. I am my own proper illusion. I am rain full of addiction. Me muero si quiebro mi reflexión. I die if that mirror breaks. ¿Por qué será? ¿Por qué será la vanidad es crueldad? Why is it that vanity is cruelty? ¿Por qué será? ¿Por qué será? Las mentiras son realidad. Why is it? Lies are reality. Soy una botella de perfume. I am a bottle of perfume. Una meta hecha de una fantasía que no puedo atrapar. A goal made by a fantasy that I cannot reach. La belleza es velocidad y no la devolveré. Beauty is velocity and I will not return it. Estoy sola con mi rímel en el cuarto de algún hotel. I am alone with my mascara in a hotel room. Soy mi propia ilusión. Soy una lluvia llena de adicción. I am my own proper illusion. I am rain full of addiction. So for this one, there's mirrors, there's vanity, there's illusions, all those mentions. Of course, I thought Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. I think Alice in Wonderland and the song Vanity by Isabella Love Story are a good pairing. Next, I have Quisqueya by Vicente Garcia. I think this is a jam. I don't have lyrics for Quisqueya. A little bit about Vicente Garcia. I can read this artist profile. Vicente Garcia is a singer, songwriter, musician from the Dominican Republic. He's the winner of 4 Latin Grammys. In his music, he invites rhythms of the Caribbean with elements of vanguard and alternative sounds. So he plays around with sounds in nature, natural beats, drum beats, and he melts the sounds of the Caribbean, tropical Latin sounds with very danceable beats. This is the song Quisqueya is from his most recent album release, titled Puñito de Yocaju. It's a collection of stories and landscapes that inspire the characteristics that define the República Dominicana, the Dominican Republic. It's travel through it's like travel through this album to his origins and also his future hopes. He fuses genres of perico ripiao, el dub, merengue, de calle, gospel, and bachata. And it's very danceable. It invites movement and flow, and it is also one, I think Vicente Garcia tends to write about, write songs that like point out things in the social context and socio-political context. And so the book that I paired for this one is With the Fire on High by Elisabet Acevedo, because Elisabet Acevedo is a Dominican author, and I think the main character in With the Fire on High is Dominican, and she is also YA. So yes, I am recommending YA literature to the max in my videos for summer. Okay, I had it here, but I think I may have taken it back to my upstairs shelf, so I don't have it right here, but I own this book. I love this book. I recommend it. and it's about a young protagonist who is about to graduate high school, and she is a young mom. She's a new, like, she's a mom. She's an 18-year-old, 17-year-old mom, and there's a lot of strife and struggle, and this girl is going for her dreams, and she's balancing the art of being a young mother, a single mom, and navigating family dynamics, and also structural and sociological prejudices and dynamics. So it's one that you are happy to root for that protagonist. You're happy to root for her, to see her reach her dreams, and I just loved it so much. And I think that that's what Vicente Garcia really wants to do, is champion the dreams of his community, of his people, and I applaud him for that. So then the next book on my playlist for summer 2025 is Captive Heart by Selena. I love Selena. I love her music. I grew up with Selena. I grew up being a big Selena fan. So I just realized that this is the 30th anniversary of the album Dreaming of You, and this single just came out. It's a remastered edition of Captive Heart, celebrating the 30th anniversary of Captive Heart and the album Dreaming of You. So I was looking around, I don't have the book here. Again, I had to like clear out the space because I had book stacks everywhere wanting to do some videos, and I never got to record, and so I ended up needing to clear the space. They're upstairs. They went back to my upstairs shelves. But the book that I want to pair with this song particularly is a graphic novel. It's Sanpaku. Um, I will put information in the description box. But it's a graphic novel, and the protagonist in that novel is a big Selena fan. So, like me, they're a Selena fan, and I think that they probably would love that this song was re-released, and I wanted to pair it because I think that they go well together. Another Selena book that I read recently that I could pair, it's called Dreaming of You by poet Melissa Losada Oliva. It says it imagines what would have happened if Selena hadn't been killed when she was 23. Losada Oliva tells us the story, which was written in verse, and the pop star's impact on her life since she was a child. So it is one that blends the nonfiction story of Selena, and then part memoir, so part like autofiction, part telling like how Selena impacted, and it does kind of meld different different histories and different types of telling, like storytelling. So I really enjoyed it. It is in verse. It is written by a poet. I wouldn't say it's not a YA poetry book or a YA novel in verse or a YA book. I don't think it's marketed YA, but I think that it is about coming of age, and it is a story that Selena fans would enjoy. So whether or not you're into reading coming of age stories, or you are looking for, or you're a Selena fan and you're just looking for a story that gets creative with the history of Selena and tells a little bit about personal history by the author, I think that that would be a fun one to read that would pair well with Captive Heart by Selena. Next book on my summer playlist is Elegantly Wasted, featuring Leon Bridges by Hermanos Gutierrez. Hermanos Gutierrez is a two-piece band formed of the brothers Alejandro and Esteban Gutierrez, taking influence from 50s Latin America sound, they transfer the listeners to journeys through beautiful landscapes. They do feel a bit like a blend. They're very melancholic. They're a bit dark and nostalgic. They draw on maybe some of the sounds of the lowrider music a bit, with a little bit of jazz and beats. She got them pain, other places I could go. Sometimes I get delusional. The way you play with my head all the way to my soul, feel like I'm a loser's boy. Show me how to taste it. Money's got me wasted, elegantly wasted. Oh, oh, well, we gotta pace it. We don't wanna waste it, elegantly wasted. Oh, oh. I love, love the one, another rose, the heat of El Paso, far from winter's cold. You taste like candy on the tongue, flavor in my bones, floating on your tone. You and me at home. I never wanna let go, never wanna stay away too long. The way you play with my head, the walkway to my soul. Feel like I'm a loser's boy, oh. Show me how to taste it. Money's got me wasted, elegantly wasted. Well, oh, oh, well, we gotta pace it. Your love has got me wasted, elegantly wasted. Speaking of tasting love and elegance, the book that I thought when I'm thinking about the taste of love and elegance, and feeling elegantly wasted, and that feeling of maybe feeling a bit like high and delusional. I think of Like Water for Chocolate by Laura Esquivel. And then lastly, I have, so it's Recuérdame por Siempre by Kevin Carl. The lyrics here say, No te escondas, aún te veo, hay pasillos que se alargan. Don't hide, I can see you. There are hallways that are long, que resguardan tus recuerdos, that protect your memories. Si vi en tus ojos un despido, I saw in your eyes a goodbye. Me decías, yo te cuido. You told me, I'll take care of you. Hoy te fuiste, lo he sentido. Today you left, I can feel it. Ve mis ojos son cristales. See my eyes, they are crystals. Hoy se rompen con tu nombre. Today they break with the sound of your name. Duerme niña entre mis flores. Sleep, my child, my little girl, between my flowers. Quisiera no mirarte o dejar de existir. I would wish not to see you or to cease to exist. Recuérdame por siempre. Remember me for always. Nos vemos al dormir. We'll see each other in our dreams. Recuérdame por siempre. Remember me for always. Nos vemos al dormir. We'll see each other in our dreams. Y sé que allá en tus mares, and I know that over there in your seas, te irá mejor sin mí. You'll be better without me. No olvides recordarme. Don't forget to remember me. Nos vemos al dormir. We'll see each other in our dreams. Recuérdame por siempre. Remember me for always. Nos vemos al dormir. We'll see each other in our dreams. So for this one, I thought it paired well with. It's right here, but it's like at the bottom, and I don't want to take it out. It's this huge tower of books, and it's like the third or fourth one from the bottom. It's one of my favorites. I'll have to take it down for a future video that I'm planning on posting soon. And it's Snake Falls to Earth by Darcy Little Badger. I'll talk more about Snake Falls to Earth. I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again soon. It's a fantasy. It's two worlds collide. It's shapeshifters. It takes place in my home region. Darcy Little Badger is a local to me author. I love her writing. I love her storytelling. It is an indigenous author, and a story that melts indigenous folklore with elements of fantasy and folk. And I just love it so much, and I can't wait to talk more about it with you. But that's my summer playlist, and those are the books that I want to pair with my favorite songs, new releases of this year, 2025. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if any of these songs or these books resonated with you. What would you pick for some of these songs on my playlist? I would love to hear that. What are some songs on your playlist? I would love to hear that as well. Maybe I'll add your songs to my playlist. So I'm looking for songs that are new releases and that feel like summer. Thank you so much for watching. Hasta la próxima.